Arizona Wildlife Views, brought to you by the sale of hunting and fishing licenses and the Heritage Fund, lottery dollars working for wildlife. Some projects made possible by the Sportfish and Wildlife Restoration Fund.
Find bird. Let's go.
Welcome to Arizona Wildlife Views. I'm your host, Jim Harkin. On tonight's show, we're up north of the Grand Canyon in House Rock Valley, one of two places in the state of Arizona where the buffalo still roam. The time has finally come. You have a buffalo tag for the House Rock Wildlife Area hunt in Arizona and probably have many questions on how to prepare for your hunt. Obtaining this tag is a tremendous opportunity, and the Arizona Game and Fish Department wants you to be as prepared as possible for this exciting and challenging hunt. The history of buffalo in Arizona is an interesting story going back to the early 1900s and involves a man by the name of Charles Buffalo Jones. Even though Jones hunted buffalo for a living, he was unlike other hunters of his time. He was concerned about the conservation of these animals in the West. This concern prompted him to capture 57 buffalo calves in Texas during 1884. From this original herd, Jones transplanted 30 to 40 animals on the Kaibab Plateau in 1905, with an additional 87 animals added in 1906. After 3 years of efforts, Jones discovered that even with the natural barriers of the plateau, he could not keep the buffalo from straying off the Kaibab Plateau. Consequently, he rounded up all the animals he could and drove them, like cattle, to Lund, Utah, and shipped them to New Mexico by railroad. The animals that Jones could not round up became the property of Jim Owens, who was the owner of the Grand Canyon Cattle Company. In 1927, the state of Arizona purchased 98 animals from Owens for $10,000. These animals became the core herd in Arizona, which are now found on House Rock and Raymond wildlife areas. Buffalo are tough and enduring animals and can travel many miles in a day. You could also describe them as agile in the fact that they can run sprints at 35 miles per hour for up to 1/4 mile and are capable of jumping over a height of 6 feet. They can maneuver and travel over terrain that is very steep and rugged. Often they are compared to mountain goats in their ability to get around in this rough terrain. A bison's sense of smell and hearing are acute, but their eyesight is poor. The adult males or bulls are typically larger than the females, weighing in at about 2,000 pounds. The adult females or cows weigh in at about 1,000 pounds and yearling at 600 pounds. A calf may weigh around 150 pounds. All buffalo have horns, and this characteristic makes it difficult to identify the different ages and sexes. A bull's horns are larger in diameter than a cow's. The shape of the horns can be different between the sexes, with the bulls normally appearing more square-shaped like goalposts, or sometimes they may be rounded. In the yearling bulls, the horns look almost like ice cream cones stuck to the sides of their heads. The horns on a cow are normally more rounded in shape and are smaller in diameter. Bison tracks are very similar to those of cattle, so when hunting, you should not only look for tracks, but for indications of wallowing. Both sexes and age classes of bison create wallows, which are shallow depressions in the soil, usually in dry sites. They sometimes leave their characteristic woolly black hair in the brush. Now on to the more specific details on preparing for this difficult hunt. Every hunting season has its challenges, and the House Rock buffalo hunt is no different. The weather conditions, terrain, locating buffalo, and taking care of your game meat make it tough. You may experience snow during the winter-spring hunt and very warm temperatures during the summer hunt, and have difficulty locating the bison no matter what hunt you have. If you have never been to House Rock Wildlife Area, be aware that it is remote and primitive. Be prepared to drive 22 miles on a dirt road off Highway 89A. Gas, phones, and food supplies are a long distance away, so take everything you will need into the field with you. Camping is also very primitive, so be prepared for the weather and pack the appropriate clothing. Cell phone service is very limited, and in most places on the wildlife area, your phone will not work. There is no trash pickup, so please remember to pack out what you pack in, and the wildlife area does not have public restrooms either. The House Rock buffalo herd is free roaming, and it is not confined to the House Rock Wildlife Area. Some portions of the wildlife area are in wilderness. Hunter access is allowed in wilderness areas, but there are limits on the types of transportation and equipment that can be used. In this wilderness area, you cannot use mechanized equipment, including game carriers with wheels. If you need more information about this, contact the Kaibab National Forest. This hunt is considered one of the most difficult in the state, and you should be in top physical condition and able to hike many miles at an elevation of 5,000 to 9,000 feet or higher. Don't expect to show up on opening day and immediately harvest a buffalo. But if you do, the hard work has just begun. Use a rifle with a .270, 30-06, 300 Magnum or larger caliber with good penetrating bullets. Use as large a caliber rifle as you can handle and one you can shoot accurately and comfortably. Using solid copper bullets is also recommended because they are deep penetrating bullets, and there are many environmental benefits as well. By using these bullets, hunters can help reduce lead poisoning in Arizona's condor population. If you need more information, you can go to the department website or contact the department's condor coordinator. Since bison are difficult to kill and can be dangerous, take the time to sight in your weapon and remember that a vital shot is very important. There are two vital areas on a buffalo. The heart, at 6 inches in diameter, is the more feasible target area. A buffalo heart may not be where you think it is. It sits extremely low in the chest, so aim at a point behind the upper joint or elbow of the front leg. The other vital area is only about 1.5 inches in diameter and is the area behind and slightly below the ear. You must be an expert marksman if you choose to take this shot, and it is not recommended. Don't shoot unless you are absolutely sure you can hit a vital area, and do not take long shots. Sometimes they are not effective, and at this distance it may be difficult identifying your target animal. Since bullets will penetrate an animal the size of a buffalo, do not shoot if your target animal is standing in front of another buffalo. With patience and some caution, buffalo could be approached within 100 yards. In most years, this hunt will run from the beginning of January to the middle of June and generally allows the harvest of any buffalo. Because hunt rules do change, make sure you confirm the dates of your hunt and the type of bison you are allowed to harvest. Typically, the majority of the herd winters entirely within the Grand Canyon National Park. You are not allowed to hunt in the park. This makes access and availability of buffalo to harvest limited for the winter-spring hunt. Deep snow is common in higher elevations during this time of year. You will want to focus on Fire Point, the Coxcombs, upper elevations, and the wilderness area on steep slopes. This is a tough time of year to hunt, so be prepared for cold winter weather, poor road conditions, and limited access. You will want to use a four-wheel drive vehicle and may want to consider snow machines to get around the wildlife area and the Kaibab National Forest. Some recommended equipment should include tire chains and a high-lift jack. In most years, depending on the weather, the bison do not move into the House Rock Valley until April or May. Once the animals are in the valley and the winter weather is cleared, hunting at waters is going to be one of the most effective techniques for taking buffalo. Spotting and stalking is also effective. Buffalo are heavy animals, and their tracks can also typically be followed. In most years, this hunt will run from the middle of June to the middle of August and generally allows the harvest of yearlings and cows. This is the time of year when you will likely find the bison on the House Rock Wildlife Area and the Kaibab National Forest. You should purchase a North Kaibab Ranger District map for this hunt. The hunt is guided by department staff. The breeding season runs from July through early September. You need to keep in mind that temperatures could be in the 90s during this hunt, and game meat care is very critical. Due to the warmer temperatures, the bison will be concentrated near waters in the House Rock Valley. We discourage scouting during this hunt because it may push the animals back into the park. Just use your spotting scope and binoculars to locate the bison. During this hunt, you do not want to have a lot of people in the field with you. Again, this is to limit the possibility of pushing animals around. On the wildlife area, we recommend that you camp along Forest Road 631. This will result in the least amount of disturbance on the buffalo. In most years, this hunt will run from the middle of August to the end of November and generally allows the harvest of yearlings and cows. Bison are generally found within 1 to 2 miles of the park boundary during this hunt. You may also find them in the Fire Point area. They will frequently move on and off of the park on a daily basis. These areas typically are comprised of thick habitat and the animals will be difficult to spot, so concentrating on water holes may help you find bison. You may also focus on spotting and stalking or tracking. Good luck in your hunt, and we hope you get your buffalo. Whether you plan to hunt buffalo or just enjoy shooting at targets, there's a new place in the valley where you can go to hone your shooting skills.
Good shot.
If you've been looking for a new place to test your shooting skills, then it's time to head out to the brand new General Joe Foss Shooting Complex, just 10 miles south of Buckeye.
It's a great day for shooting sports in Arizona. We've got a great partnership to put this together, and I think the opportunity to build those partnerships and sustain them is always good for the state, good for wildlife. It's another shooting opportunity in one of the fastest growing parts of Arizona, one of the fastest growing states in the country. So this is just, it's wonderful to see this facility come in.
All right, on the count of 3.
The new 120-acre range was dedicated in January 2009, and it replaces an old shooting facility within Buckeye Hills Regional Park. The new complex consists of a 200-yard main range and a 50-yard pistol range, both with 40 stations and covered awnings.
We, in 207, the Maricopa County Board of Supervisors approved plans to construct this 120-area shooting and training facility, and I'm proud to say that we not only have done it, but we've done it green. That's very, very important in the county this year. This project, you'll see a use of self-sustained solar power supply supplied to the site from solar energy provided by the 2 on-site solar farms. Water is provided to the site through the use of a local well. Another noteworthy feature is the project's ability to retain all runoff from the range so that the water quality downstream is not compromised.
In order to make this facility a reality, Maricopa County partnered with the Arizona Game and Fish Department as well as with the Buckeye Sportsman's Club.
We played kind of an interesting role in that it wasn't a lot of dollars. We put about $20,000 into this facility. We also provided training, and will continue to provide training for the club that is going to be the volunteer organization running this range. They have no paid staff to run this facility, so it is that part of the community that is going to run it, and so they really did need to have the training, wanted the training, so that they could run this range efficiently and safely. So we provided some money. I would say, while it's not a big amount, it came at exactly the right time when they needed it.
Ready to go. The Buckeye Sportsman's Club will be managing the range. Opening right now will be open on the weekends, and looking to expand our hours as membership grows and volunteers come out. Personally, it's very gratifying to see that it's coming to fruition, and other people, not just myself and people like me, are seeing the value in shooting sports in Maricopa County in particular, and the state of Arizona.
It's just very relaxing. It's not something that I do all the time, but I do it, I enjoy it like golf. Yeah, the 4 of us live in a retirement community. We live in an active adult community, which is Robeson, which is Pebble Creek here in Goodyear. And we just find something fun to do every day, and this is going to definitely be part of it.
The master plan for this complex also includes a shotgun range, an archery range, and youth hunter education course. But for right now, Jeff Stone and his buddies are having a good time just the way it is.
There was a small earthquake, if you'll notice. These were all dead center, and then the ground, due to the tectonic shifts, shifted the target down. You still need to see this. And I had no idea that it was any Richter activity today.
If you enjoy watching wildlife and catching fish, then we've got the place for you. The Wildlife Viewing Guide takes us west to Parker and a 30-year tradition that involves family, fun, and fish that's still going strong.
Last year I went here to go fishing with me, my dad, my sisters, and we all came here, and then it was my first time it was like my second time catching a fish over here, and my dad was proud of me because I caught a fish with him.
This is the 30th annual Take a Kid Fishing program in the Parker area. And we're at the La Paz County Park in Parker, Arizona.
But it was this big.
That's a good size.
This is one of our largest turnouts that we've had in several years. I estimate there's probably 450 kids here with their parents and grandparents, siblings, and just good friends. They all come out to fish together.
Over the last 30 years, this event has grown. More and more families have come out. In fact, nowadays we even get some families that come out where the parents were actually here as kids 30 years ago fishing.
It looks like a piranha.
It's a piranha. Well, I was very small. I think I was probably about 5 or 6. And there's a bunch of us in our family, so it was cheap family fun. And that was kind of hard for me to catch fish. I'm not the best, but I caught one. And this week is my birthday. My niece, her birthday is tomorrow, so I decided why not take her fishing. And so we all came as a group, a family, to go fishing.
When I first started fishing here, I think I was probably 3rd or 4th grade, just coming out in the program. Taught us how to tie knots and cast, and we used to go to the swimming pool and they taught us how to do all that stuff. And then I started bringing my son when he was 2 or 3, I think it is, maybe 4. He's coming out and enjoying the program. It was a good chance, they had a good chance of catching fish, so it was really fun. He did really good. He caught 3 fish and snagged a whole bunch of them and brought them almost all the way in. Lost a few, but he had fun. It's just the quality time together with your kids and seeing that look on their face when the fish is fighting and they hook it and they're bringing it in. And, Dad, I got one. It's awesome.
All right, I've been fishing this river for about most of my life since I was about 6. Today, I've been out here to take a kid fishing, and I brought my daughter out for the first time, and she's been having a blast.
Give you a history on our program. It was started by Jeannie Branson, a resort owner on the Colorado River here. She started a program for the local river people to show them how to fish, because she's a world-class fisherman herself. So after about 3 years of doing the program, it started growing to the point that it was overwhelming her. Then the local bass club at that time was called Calzona Bass Club here in Parker. We decided, why don't we pick this up and keep it going? So we did that. And at that time, we used to take them out in the boats. And kids would wait until a boat comes back in, then somebody takes some more kids out, back and forth like that. Well, it got to the point it was getting way too big. We couldn't get everybody out in the boat. So we come up with the idea that we could net off this lagoon, which was only about half this size at that time, and we could stock it with fish. Well, we bought fish at the early years, and that was very expensive. Well, we can't do that. So I worked for Metropolitan Water District. So I went and asked our superintendent up there if we could catch the fish out of our private reservoirs up there. They said, yeah. So we went out and we caught catfish. We caught probably 500 or 600 catfish, probably ranged from 2 to 8 pounds. And we put them in the lagoon here. So 2 years we did catfish. And then the point we got where we couldn't catch enough catfish. At that time, Mike Thomas was chairman of the program. And he made an arrangement to talk to the crit fishing game down here. So he put them in contact with U.S. Fish and Wildlife. So they agreed to bring us trout out of the Willow Beach hatchery. So I would say for 8 years they supplied fish for us. And that worked really great. We expanded the program. We expanded the lagoon here. We even built another little reservoir, a little pond up above that we stock also. Then about, I'd say 12 years ago, the U.S. Fish and Wildlife said, oh, we can't supply you fish anymore. So we had all the schools start writing letters to the Albuquerque field office for U.S. Fish and Wildlife. And they were overwhelmed with all these letters, so they went and turned around, boxed them all up, sent them over to Herb Gunther to take to the Arizona fishing game, see if they would do something.
So Game and Fish began supplying trout for this event, and for the last several years we've delivered about 2,000 trout from the Page Springs hatcheries near Sedona and Cottonwood.
Okay, we have a picnic and it's free to everybody. We supply free hot dogs, free soda pop, free water, and we got civic groups come down here to do the cooking. The Lion Club has been cooking for many years.
This looks pretty juicy.
And then also our local high school, the FFA group, that's Future Farmers of America. They come down, they cook on the little pond. And across the way over here, we have a group of snowbirds. Most of them come out of the First Baptist Church, but they've been doing that for, 15 years also. So everybody looks forward to coming down and get into their old job. They gave us the award for excellence for our program. And at that time, the commissioners told me, as long as we have this program, we will have fish for you. So it's very bright looking for the future of this program, because if Arizona's got fish, we can have a fishing program.
In our continuing series on sporting dogs, today we meet the powerful and aristocratic German short-haired pointer.
This is a 6-month-old German short-haired pointer. A lot of people don't realize, but originally they were bred for both fur and feather. In this country, they're used for mostly feather. They do retrieve in water. They're fun to be with. They get bored easy. Most of them are very mellow. Not saying that all of them are level-headed. A short hair doesn't really grow up until it's probably mentally grow up until it's probably 2 years old. They'll do puppy things just to check to see if you're on the same wavelength as they are. He's had quail and pheasant that he's pointed and picked up and retrieved. I call him a spit and polish dog. Pardon me, but you spit on your hand and you can go like this and get most anything out of it. It doesn't require a lot of brushing or things like that. So it's pretty easy to, as far as maintenance is concerned. They can be a little naive toward cactus though, where they'll go right into cactus, and it takes them a while to learn that. When our kids were small, and it was just, they were part of the family. Short hair males go 65 to 72 pounds, probably 25 inches to 26 and a half at the shoulder, 26 inches at the shoulder. Females are probably about an inch shorter and probably go 48 to 53 or 54 pounds. Their longevity, most of them pass on when you're talking odds, 12 to 14 years old, but I've had them live to 16, 17, so it's a commitment that you're making for the next 16, 17 years.
And that's our show for this evening. If you have any questions about anything you saw on the show, go to our website at azgfd.gov. On behalf of producers Carol Lind and Gary Schaefer, I'm your host, Jim Harkin. We'll see you next time.